whoa, whoa, whoa!
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most outrageous, bizarre, and truly chaotic moments on this long-running court show.
And forget it, because I changed my mind. He doesn't get $200.
Number 10. Justice for the lilies. A bed of rare lilies are mercilessly hacked down by landscapers hired by a homeowners association, and plaintiff Teresa Harpster wants justice. By any means necessary, apparently.
Went like that, and it never even touched him.
What does went like that mean?
Oh, the flower that I had in my head, the dead one, just went like that.
Did you throw it at him? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't really throw it at him.
What were you doing?
I just wanted to show him to look at it.
She glosses over the parts where she was yelling and throwing flowers at the landscaper's employee, but we get the whole story eventually. Harpster gasped and stood open-mouthed as the judge read statements from the employee she verbally harangued.
At the tip-top of her lungs, which she proceeded to push me after that, she said, if the company won't do something about this, I will. And I proceeded to walk away to avoid further conflict.
As the woman is confronted with her own outrageous behavior and comments, it becomes clear she's barely containing her anger, even with the judge. Who knew one could be so passionate about Flora?
I never used any profanity against that young man or him. I never met him until today.
All right. One other question I never heard discussed. Will the lilies grow back?
No, they did not grow back.
Number 9. Rotten roommate. Ex-roommates sometimes have the messiest cases, but this one is way messier than you'd think.
Did you try to get a restraining order?
Yes, I did.
And on account of what?
Due to the fact that my witness couldn't come today, she slammed the door and hit me in the face with it that belonged to my second bedroom.
The plaintiff was unhoused when she met and moved in with the defendant. The defendant took her in as an assistant who would help her in getting to doctor's appointments and do chores she was physically unable to do.
She would take me to the doctors and to get me out of the house, take it, and it's too heavy. Boom, throw it down the stairs. Now I can't use one of the brakes.
However, allegations of verbal and physical abuse, flimsy handwritten letters in place of receipts, and an unfortunate accident on a rug leave more questions than answers.
When duty calls, duty calls. Pay
I
attention to duty.
understand that, but I had my
but she
hands
says it happened
full.
twice?
Each new piece of jaw-dropping information was enough to make us question how it even got to this point. Number 8. It wasn't rain. A squabble over the upstairs neighbour letting their dogs use the bathroom on the balcony above turned litigious.
Please don't feign outrage. You know what the lawsuit's about, and don't call out while she's testifying. Go ahead.
I don't have a dog. I live on the second floor. The neighbors who lived above me before, they had a dog. I never had an issue.
Things got so bad that elevated blood pressure landed the plaintiff in the emergency room. Although she had questions about the story, the judge was not too fond of the two defendants' behavior.
Excuse me, you're giving me a perfect flavor of what the hallway was like, because if in a courtroom you can't control yourself, I can only imagine what the hallway is like.
They spent the case mean-mugging the plaintiff, feigning outrage, and demonstrating the very behavior that they were being accused of, all while trying to smile in the judge's face. She didn't buy it, and neither did anyone watching. This one gets points for the hilarious demonstration of bucking.
And she
made
gestures like she was going to do something to us.
What were the gestures that looked like?
Just bucking and yeah,
like
exactly.
That?
Just like that.
Chicken necking?
Number 7. Funeral home spat. Plaintiff Alicia Smith shows up to the courtroom with casts and wraps on both wrists, and it just gets crazier from there. A disagreement about funeral expenses for a relative led to a physical altercation between an aunt and her niece.
Everybody was like, ooh, I heard, they said, ooh, and then that's when I went to her and I grabbed her. She took her teeth in her mouth and, bit me here.
The description of the fight itself is pretty intense, but the niece's assertion that her dead grandmother and the plaintiff's mum is now haunting her house as a result is just the cherry on top.
Like, I don't want to be home because I'm in the process of trying to move, because I don't want to be there because I'm scared.
Who's still bothering you? Your grandmother's
My grandma's spirit?
Okay.
Yes.
Honestly, given the way their family looks right now, it's not surprising she wouldn't be able to rest. Death is hard. Family strife makes it harder. Throwing hands at the funeral parlor, though? Well, we suppose everyone processes grief differently.
And I was like, and that's when I bit the arm.
Okay.
From there, that's when my uncle came and he was breaking us apart. And I was stabbing him in the leg with the pen.
Number 6. Not enough donations. This is a particularly interesting case about a couple who wanted to get pregnant at the same time by the same sperm donor who they found on Craigslist.
So you put an ad in Craigslist?
Yes.
Okay. That's when you went shopping on Craigslist? I mean,
No, because we went through like other stages.
When external circumstances and just normal biology played a role in the donor not being able to commit to as many daily donations as they wanted, the couple took legal action. The case is wild from start to finish. Judge Milian even has to school the room on anatomy and the arduous process of getting pregnant.
wait, I'm going to educate you on a little something. When you're trying to get pregnant, it is very medical. Okay? It's no longer, woo, we're having fun. That's not how it works when you're trying to get pregnant.
Between the euphemisms and blatant misunderstandings, there's so much to unpack. While it seems like the contract was entered into with the best of intentions from both parties, it just wasn't detailed enough and ultimately resulted in hurt all around.
It was tiring, to put it.
It was tiring.
It was. Do I have to go into details?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what you're going to say.
Number 5, kicking the door. Picture it. Devin Johns hires Joseph Moretti and his team to replace his pipes with copper ones. On the day of the job, it turns out the pipes are already copper, so Moretti thought he'd just charge for labour and save Johns some money.
You're standing right there. Why don't you look?
I can't see it. He never dug it up. It's never dug up.
I don't understand.
If I can have one last word. Why put new copper? I saved the man $1,000.
Johns, on the other hand, felt he'd paid too much in his deposit for just the labour and was seeking the entirety of it back. When the judge awarded him only $200 of the $1,500 he wanted, Johns showed his true colours.
I'm going to order you to return a couple of $100 to him. I think you had it right the first time. I'm ordering you to return $200.
He kicked the door open on his way out and in a split second lost even the small amount he had won. If there's one thing Judge Milian has no patience for, it's property damage, especially when it's her property.
Exactly the way it happened.
That's exactly the way it happened. And so you go take care of your man, and I hope you're going to be okay. And forget it, because I changed my mind. He doesn't get $200.
Number 4, like father, like daughter. While babysitting overnight, the plaintiff awoke to a fire the defendant's daughter started, putting her and her own children in danger.
I see flames. I see the couches on fire, the floor, the walls, the ceiling. I thought that I was going to lose everything.
The defendant didn't tell the babysitter that his daughter had already done something similar twice before, nor did he think he was responsible for the damage. Judge Milian knows the score quickly.
Like I said, I don't condone her playing with the fire. I don't condone it. That's why I said I'm willing to help you.
Right, but
fix
why don't you
your
give a
house.
person a fighting chance and let him know that she's lit stuff on fire twice before?
Despite the fact that so much worse could have happened, the defendant tries every way he can to slip out of his responsibility. Clearly, there's no accountability here, and that's made even more obvious when the young girl mirrors her father's impatience. Needless to say, the judge is not happy.
You guys are not entitled to be angry. Most of all, an 8-year-old child is not entitled to be angry in my courtroom, throwing her hands in the air when she doesn't like what the judge said.
Number 3, just the website developer. It wasn't him. He was just following orders. A website developer was sued over defamatory and disgusting allegations his site made against the plaintiff, who was an advocate for internet safety.
Like, I understand what you're saying. Your argument is, oh, Judge, I'm just a website creator. That's fine if you create a website and hand the keys over. But you're the guy actually putting on the pictures.
The defendant's story about being hired by lawyers who wanted him to post the accusations didn't sit well with anyone, let alone the judge. Whether he was playing dumb or truly didn't realize he was culpable, the defendant's sulking did nothing to get him out of trouble. In fact, it just upset the judge even more.
Nah, you're in control. No, you're not only in control, you're a horrible person. Because you're taking pictures and making them look like something that you know they're not, because you have the real pictures.
He seemed to have no moral qualms about knowingly posting defamatory statements and saw it as just another job. This one hit close to home for another reason. Apparently, the plaintiff had a previous case that was heard by Judge Milian's husband, Judge Slinger.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's my husband.
Okay, well then, it's a small world. Judge.
Wow. This is a first.
Number 2, hubris. In this case, 2 parents allege their teenage daughter was smuggled to Daytona by the 21-year-old defendant without their knowledge. and he was the one suing the parents.
Where you come off thinking at the age of 21 that you're a better parent than her actual parents. So I don't get it.
The defendant apparently met their daughter while he was still in high school and she was in middle school. The nature of their relationship was argued, but ultimately, it's hard to believe it was innocent or platonic.
You do not, because of whatever Napoleonic complex you have developed, have the right to be her parent.
Allegations flew, but it was pretty clear the plaintiff thought he had the right to take a minor away from her parents. He seemed completely unfazed by the whole thing. Never mind how any of it looks from a moral standpoint, the judge absolutely laid into him for his hubris in thinking he had the right to do any of that.
Where did you get this hubris? Where did you get this hubris?
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Uninhabitable conditions. This landlord is almost too calm as she tries to explain why she scammed a tenant.
You think that's the greater sin?
Your Honor.
I need to stop hearing
Unfortunately-
your voice. I can't hear your voice for another second. You are despicable.
Keep these dogs off my cows. A farmer shoots his neighbour's dogs when they attack his cows.
You've got to keep these dogs off my cows.
Accordion to the law. Clearly, it's rhetorical when the judge asks if anyone can play the instrument.
When did you start playing the accordion?
My family's from Argentina and they're German.
Oh my goodness.
Two sides.
You've said too much. Go ahead.
Shady statement. Plaintiff gets in one last dig at the defendant.
What are you thinking?
She lied, and I should have known better when I seen her hair.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Harbouring a missing teen. After 6 days of being missing, authorities found the plaintiff's troubled 14-year-old daughter under her teenage boyfriend's bed. The kicker was that the boyfriend's mother knew she was there and didn't tell the police or the parents.
Why did you lie to the police?
I thought I was keeping her safe.
Over and over, you lied to the police. Each day, they came to your house and you lied.
Judge Milian's wrath rained down over the courtroom. She couldn't believe that the two parents would obstruct justice and not work in the child's best interest.
Parents suffering for 6 days while you did this. Do you understand how lame your answer to me? I thought I was protecting her.
Although at first the co-defendant seemed to understand the gravity of what they'd done, the husband later acted completely unrepentant and even got thrown out of the room.
I think I'm talking to a frickin' wall. That's what's happening here. I keep talking and nothing's going in your thick head.
That's
because you're so busy trying to be right that you don't understand the position. Get out of my courtroom.
Each new detail unfolded a new and more disturbing layer to the story, and by the end, it was clear there was more to this than the standard case. Did we get this one right, or are we out of order? Render your verdict in the comments.
Wow! This is a first.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.